Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. The title of this interview is called How to Help Businesses Create Their Own Economy and Take Demand Away from Their Competition. It's an HMA conference call that we did in July of 2010. In today's recession, it's not enough to sit back and wonder how you're going to survive at all. You have to branch out to other markets, take control of your situation, and create your own economy. And in this conference call, you'll hear how to help businesses do exactly that, while learning how to do it for your consulting practice as well. According to Richard, this is the best time to be a marketing consultant because businesses are literally crying out for help. They want to stay afloat, but they don't know how, and that's where you come in. So in this 50-minute conference call, you'll hear Richard answer a variety of consultants' questions, from what are the best sales pitches in today's economy to what are the best ways to get started when you live in a remote area and have no experience, credibility, or resources. You'll also learn the only time you should ever work with startup or contingency deals. You'll learn the key strategies for creating a web presence for those businesses that want one. You'll learn the single most important thing you must do to get your foot in the door in the easiest and quickest and most effective way possible. You'll learn a sneaky tip that turns business owners just looking for free advice into high-paying clients. You'll learn a real-life look into how Richard sells his services in today's economy and uses the HMA guarantee to help do it. You'll learn a word-for-word script for creating joint ventures and for qualifying prospects. You'll learn the easiest way to determine what kind of fees to charge for each business. One of the most important things to remember when approaching a prospect is your attitude. If you can get excited about helping a small business grow in this environment, you'll have no problem finding clients. And this conference call will get you charged up and ready to go. Now let's get going. Richard, I really appreciate it. We haven't talked in over a year for a conference call. We've got a lot of new HMA consultants who are anxious to hear from you, actually probably for the first time or the most recent time. And I want to welcome all the listeners, all the new HMA consultants. I hope you're getting through the material, and I hope you're gaining some success and you're learning lots. And just remember, everything you learn can't ever be taken away from you. So it's July 26, 2010. And I'm with Richard, and we're going to cover your questions that you've submitted for Richard. So I'm going to start here. I'll use the first name, and Steve asked, Richard, if you were just starting out with no money and no experience as a consultant, what one or two methods would you use to get your first client?
Well, I would partner with someone, Steve. I would find someone in my area that is currently or has worked with small businesses, like a printer. Maybe it's your accountant. Maybe it's a payroll company. These are all companies that work with small businesses, and I would just approach them. And I would ask them to let you do a little workshop, or to just give them and offer them a free consultation, do an opportunity analysis, and do it for free for the first one or two, and impress them and show them the money that you found in their marketing assets. And then you could start to charge. So that's how I'd get started. Doesn't cost a dime.
Okay. Clayton asked, I'm a new consultant working my way through the 2005 DVDs. From what I've heard so far, there's a wide range of fees that can be charged, and everything is negotiable. Do you have any rules of thumb for how to determine what fees to charge? I understand that larger amounts are often charged by business size, complexity, and location. But are there any other tips that could give a little more clarity? Any rule of thumb for pricing the various individual steps? What allowances, if any, should be given for levels of experience in the consulting business? For example, one of my first paying clients could very well be a sole proprietor farm chemical business doing $20 million in sales per year. How might I charge for the various steps?
Well, I think generally I would always recommend anywhere from a $2,000 to $4,000 per step charge, regardless of experience, regardless of the client situation. You really should not be consulting this system for anything less than a couple of $1,000s per step. The larger the client, clearly I've been able to get larger fees. More complex, the steps are more involved. And so yes, a larger client, you can get $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 per step. The attitude of the client is also very important. And look for where they've been spending alternatively. Now, for example, I've had clients that are spending $30,000 to $50,000 a month in marketing. Well, now I know I can get $6,000 or $7,000 per step because I'm just going to ask them to reallocate some of the dollars that have been going to silly places. So that helps in setting your feet, is finding out where they've been spending currently. But those are all some guidelines, but really the market and your results and your confidence are key parts. Many times you're going to find clients that always have money going somewhere. They're going to trade shows, they're going to direct mail, or they're going to an ad agency, or they're going to salespeople in salaries, in commissions, in bonuses. Huge allocations of dollars that are already going out to promote their business. And it's important that you help them see that you are not asking for more dollars. You will not ask them to spend more money on marketing or advertising, because almost every case you can find ways to reallocate dollars that they're already spending to more profitable direction.
Okay. James asks, Richard, what is the smallest size business you would work with in terms of their annual revenues? Or will you only work with a company that is currently spending money on marketing?
I've never had a floor. I guess I should correct that and say probably less than $500,000 you might struggle to get the kind of fees that you want.
Why?
Well, because they usually are just eking by. Under $500,000, I've just found that they're probably going to be a little struggle to pay you. However, again, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't arbitrarily create a floor. The most important thing is the attitude of the business owner. That's the most important, is how do they feel about marketing? Do they want to grow their business? Can you help them see cash in their marketing assets? Can you help them see more money? Can you help them see them growing their business? Are they excited to have you? Are they wanting to grow now, or do they just want to just make it through? All of that, man. If you had a $200,000 business, he'd find a way to pay you $3,000 or $4,000 a month. So that's the important thing.
Rick asks, Richard, having come from a retail and domestic selling background in the home improvement market, I have felt more relaxed approaching these types of businesses. Do you think consultants should stick to specializing in just one area?
Well, that's certainly an option. If you've got expertise in an area, that's what they call vertical marketing. You could take one of your industries and vertically market. The only drawback is you soon run out of prospects, or you're traveling all over the country, because you got to get to your vertical market, and there's not enough of that market in your hometown. So I would recommend that you try to be a generalist, that you try to be good at making the system applicable to all types.
Jen asks, Richard, I'm looking at contacting our local manufacturing extension partnership branch, and I was wondering if you have some suggestions on the best way to approach them. Basically, she wants to know, maybe a little bit about your story of what you've been doing with your MEPs, how to approach them, and what would you say to try and get in the door?
The Manufacturing Extension Partnership is out of Washington, D.C. They have about 50 offices throughout the country. 10 of those offices have licensed the marketing system from myself. They've not done very much with it because they don't have real strong salespeople that are marketing and sales mindset. You have to treat your MEP much like the similar business owner from another business, and that is, what's their attitude? Are they wanting to grow? Are they wanting to build their practice? The biggest frustration with the MEP is they're quasi-public funded, and that oftentimes means they're okay with just the government money they get. And they're not real hard salespeople. They don't want to go out and get new clients and take and create client fee income. So there was Missouri and Kansas City was on the question, and I've tried to license that group. They're a tough group. I think Elaine or Mary are a couple of the names I recall. And you may have a struggle getting into that because I think they feel they have their marketing handled. And so your MEPs are just like any other business. They have to be approached, find the decision maker, and make sure that they want to grow. And if they're missing marketing expertise, then they'll get your help.
If they call their MEP, who would they ask for? Who's the decision maker?
Every MEP has a center director. So that would be the person that they would want to get to. Now, they may have to start with, some centers have business development agents they could start with, so it just depends on whether you make it a one-call or a two-call effort.
Do some MEPs have other marketing systems other than what you offer?
Yes. 21st century marketing, or the HMA system, was kind of relegated in the last couple of years to a Eureka growth system. National headquarters took on Eureka, and there's a consulting group out of Pennsylvania that is Eureka, and they kind of ran with that. And so it's really not a marketing system. It's a process of creating new products and getting them out on the market, and I don't think they've done very well with it.
Thanks, Richard, for taking the time to provide your honest feedback on the following questions. Number one, I know you published a mainstream HMA marketing book in 1999. Can you please answer the following questions related to your experience writing the book? A, it looks like you waited about 10 years into your career before writing a book. If you were just getting started again, would you wait that long again, or would you write it earlier?
Well, I think you write a book when you feel like you're qualified to write a book. So I don't know that there's any time frame that I would change on that. I think what I've probably not done as well as I could is leverage the content of the book, but I'm starting to do that now and would recommend that with the new media and the social media. You can certainly get chapters of a book out there and get it on a blog site and things like that. So that's what's different now than 10 years ago, is you could certainly circulate that content a little better.
You're listening to an exclusive interview found on Michael Senoff's hard-to-find seminars.com. On last year's call, you said you were just starting to experiment working with clients at a distance. Can you update us on how that is working out for you? Are you able to get and keep clients effectively working remotely? What tips do you have to increase our chances of successfully working remotely?
I think it's getting a little better and a little better each year as I get more interested in doing that kind of consulting. This last year we did a good one with an MEP out of Minnesota, and they had 5 businesses that each paid a couple of $1,000s each, and we spent a half hour with them on the phone every week going through the core 4. That's all we sold on the remote. So that was a $10,000 contract for just a few hours, and they got the materials, they got the manuals, they got the DVDs, so they were able to go through that during the week, and then we give them assignments, and the assignments are exactly what's in the manuals, so there's no new work that we had to create. The important thing was you kind of have to have some help getting the group together, the marketing help. In this case, it was the MEP.
Okay. Can you please give us an update, now that another year has gone by, how Dell and IBM are using the system you developed? What sort of data usage or success stories are you hearing, if any?
One of the problems I had in contracting that out was that I can't get those results, so I just don't have access to those. I just know that it's continuing to be sold, so I'm checking in on a regular basis, but I don't get any of those stories or anything.
Just explain briefly for the new consultants who don't know about this what it is you've done with them.
Well, Macau Training Corporation in Orem, Utah was a primary marketer of the Dell Learning System for their management online courses. Macau came to me and approached me and asked me to create a marketing course that we could give to them and they could use as part of the Dell online management courses. So I traded Macau the content of the course for the DVDs and the online video training that I have now. So that's how all that came to be. But part of that is Dell, and Macau is not able to give me anything as far as the sales go on that end.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with hard-to-find-seminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. You know, many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini-seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at hardtofindseminars.com. So go right now to hardtofindseminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching.